sauber runterfahren. Im oberen Teil in Winterberg ist es tatsächlich so, möglichst wenig fahren, aber auch da gibt es ein paar Kurven, die durchaus egal sind. Lenken tatsächlich an.
Diana Filipski ist die nächste im Spurbob. Schön, dass Sie anwesend seid.
Mal schon dann auch wieder aufrechnen möchte, ne?
Stay care at the track. Yes, Bobsleigh. Die offizielle Maßnahme. Frau fährt jetzt den Berg nach oben. Aktive T-Shirt. Ja. Wann machen wir das Ganze aber auch schon? Aufzeigen. Happy Birthday, Vanessa Mark. Wir haben eine Vorstellung. Gratuliert österreichische Fans sind da, deutsche Fans sind da, tschechische Fans sind da, lettische Fans sind da, polnische Fans sind da. Es sind sogar, das haben wir gelernt, Fans aus Bayern da. Es ist ein Wahnsinn. Aus jedem Kulturkreis, der sich nur so anbietet. Ja, Regensburg. Das ist die schönste bayerische Großstadt. Ja, das sind die Bayern Staatsleser und die kann man nicht sagen. Moment, wir müssen kurz. Applaus für den Spurmann! Und den Patrick. Oh, das ist der Ton im Fernsehen.
Da ist er, guck mal, die Jungs, da ist er. Die sind hier so tapfer am Bauen und am Trinken.
Ja. Dieses macht sich sehr stolz, dass die Fernsehlinie nicht immer gut wird und im Griff haben. Das muss man einfach sagen.
Die sieht immer noch geradeaus, ne? Also ich habe das hier auch schon anders erlebt, aber die sind immer noch fit.
Ein echter Oberpfälzer. Ja? Entschuldigung, ihr redet immer geradeaus mit Alkohol. Immer.
BMW IBSF Bobsleigh World Championships are here at Winterberg in Germany, and all eyes on the two-woman competition, which is building towards its conclusion. Heat 3 of the 4 is about to get underway. We had a new track record yesterday set by Kim Kalicki, and it is Lisa Buchwitz who is ahead of Lara Nolte, and then Kim Kalicki in a very German-dominated entry. Yesterday, in the second run, Kim Kalicki, very much starting as the favourite after that track record, was expected to build the lead, but made a slightly scrappy run downhill and ended up only third on the aggregated time. She was very frustrated with that, to say the very least. Let's see whether she can recover today. It looked quick, and it was to be third, but not quite good enough to stem the advance of Lara Nolte, who ended the day second, or Lisa Buchwitz, who was fastest. Everybody expected, after Monobob's success last week, Lara Nolte to be, if you like, the dominant driver yesterday, but only third in Heat 1, up to second at the end of Heat 2, but she's still in the mix in this Inter-Nissan contest between the German crews. So Lara Nolte goes into today, just 400s back from Lisa Buchwitz, with Vanessa Mark as her brakewoman. And today is Vanessa Mark's birthday, so a World Championship success on your birthday will be quite a present, wouldn't it? Let's see whether it pans out that way. It's a narrow margin, but Lisa Buchwitz the fastest at the end of yesterday on this 1.33 kilometre long Winterberg track. David Addison and Aaron Gulliver trackside, looking forward to what promises to be a really good end to the competition on a really challenging track, this, Aaron, and it's kind of a track of two halves. Get to turn 9 and then the speed starts to build. Yeah, it really is, David. Obviously it's a bit flatter at the top, but like you say, as soon as you get to 9, it really starts to drop off quickly, and that's where we see the speeds really build up. It is Lisa Buchwitz ahead by 400ths of a second, Kim Kalicki third, then you've got Keisha Love ahead of Bree Walker, Ilana Myers-Taylor, who's a former world champion, don't forget, only 6th, Adele Nicol 7th, Melanie Hasler 8th, 9th, Cynthia Appia, Andrea Grecu 10th. Adele Nicol yesterday, one of the real feel-good stories, a low starting rank, but a great performance. Absolutely, yeah, I mean, finishing the first day in 7th place, considering she started 18th, it's just fantastic, working her way up through the field. It's exactly what we want to see. And at the foot of the times, Lauren Jolo, who's had a few crashes both in Monobob last week and in training for here, but managed to pretty much stay out of strife yesterday, and fingers crossed will continue to go well today. So you've got this battle really of the 3 German crews. There's that battle for the win, and then you could argue there's another competition to be fourth. Definitely, yeah. I mean, you look at those top 3, I mean, they've had just completely dominant drives, dominant starts as well. But it's a really tight battle, so I think anything can happen there. But you look further down the field, and there's some really tight battles as well, like you say, for 4th, but also for 8th, 7th as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Just seen Ilana Myers-Taylor, and Melanie Hasler had a good run yesterday. Cynthia Appia, who is floating around the end of the top 10, 9th overnight, so she'll be wanting to try to find some time, and Andrea Grecu, who is also a force to be reckoned with under normal circumstances, but only 11th, so she's going to try and find some time from somewhere, and when we're talking hundreds, finding time ain't that easy. No, of course, like, you can always try and do that on the start, and Cynthia does start really well, and she can if she puts together a good drive as well, she can pick up a lot of time. But the third day of a world champs, the third heat rather, on the second day is always a bit of a bogey, because of course it's a different day, different conditions, the track might behave differently, the athletes, they might be a little bit fatigued, so we could see some change-ups throughout the field. Yeah. One of the fascinations, in a way, of bobsleigh is that until you leave the start, you've no idea what the track is going to be like. You know, if you're in a motor race, for example, you might have done a lap round to the grid or a warm-up session, but here, you only know when you're in it. That's it. You just find out when you go. Yeah, that's kind of the case with that. Well, this is the order. They're going to start in the current classification. So Lisa Buchwitz will go first, ahead of Lara Nolter, and then Kim Kalicki takes you all the way down through Keisha Love, Bree Walker, Ilana Myers-Taylor, Deborah Annan, second generation slider for Switzerland, and it'll be Lauren Jolo the last to go. So Lisa Buchwitz is ready at the top of the hill. 3rd in Monobob last weekend. The FES sled is good to go. 3rd in last year's World Championships, and of course, Aaron, now this push absolutely essential. Absolutely, yeah. Let's see what the birthday girl can do here. Vanessa Mark. 5:49. Anything in the 40s, David. It's a great start. So a really good start to this day. Let's see how that start holds up. The clock ticking. What you're seeing there is the aggregate time. So when you get subsequent sleds, if it's green, you know they're ahead on aggregate. If it's going red, they're slower. But right now, Lisa Buchwitz is the pioneer. She needs to be good in every sector, setting these target times, but also being quick, being neat, being tidy. So far, so good. So far, so good indeed, yeah. We want to keep it nice and tidy up at the start of the track. No big knocks, no major errors through the corners. And she's doing a great job. But here's where it speeds up, so coming into corner 9 there. It's a nice entrance onto corner 9. Oh, a little bit squirrely off there, a little bit of a tap through 10. But she's looking good. Started her career as a brake woman before becoming the driver. A little bit high up the wall maybe there into the Ziel curve. This takes you to the finish line, and the time that she posts is 2:48.20. That is now the target for everybody else. 2 minutes 48.20. Looked pretty good, didn't it? It looked good, yeah. We noticed the speeds are slightly down, a couple of kilometres an hour down from yesterday. So the track today, it's a little bit warmer, I think, and the track's a little bit slower. So, but we'll see how that holds up. That's definitely the benchmark. She's thrown down the gauntlet there. It was a pretty good run. The finish time was a 56, whereas the track record set yesterday was 55.89 by Kim Kalicki. So we had a new track record in 4-man at the very start of the day, but of course that's quite a few hours ago now, so temperatures and the ambient might have changed a touch.
That's it, yeah. We actually saw the track degraded quite quickly in the 4-man in both heats, so maybe that's something we'll see here as well. But you just never know, honestly, with these bobsleigh tracks, David. They can hold up or they can degrade. You just don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. She looks very happy with her run, though.
She does.
Yeah.
Just go back quickly to 4-man. One of the things that we were seeing in that second run was that people were losing time at the bottom of the run.
Yes.
Rather than the top. And was that significant? Maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
So, Lara Nolte then is the next to go. 3 times a silver medalist, sorry, a medalist in the World Championships, and starts the push. The time to beat off the start, 5.49. Lara Nolte jumps on board, and 5.45.
Wow, that's a huge start by Lara Nolte. Great push by Deborah Levi as well. Yeah, I mean, 45 there. The track record, it's not far off the start record.
Exactly right, and she's ahead on aggregate look by 300. She's been a double European champion, Monobob world champion as well, won that last week, but her best in the world has been a third. So Lara Nolte then still ahead, but only by 100, so she's lost a fraction of time because that buffer has just closed a little.
Yeah, looking like there's a second best speed now, so Bukovic's definitely faster through this section. Yeah, it's gone red. So, yeah, losing speed, losing time down the track. It's going to be close.
It is going to be close, you're absolutely right, but she's lost more time now. 500's down, second best speed through the Zeal curve. The time is not going to match that of Lisa Bukovic, so she ends up second on a 2 minutes 48.29. 900's adrift now after 3 runs. I mean, that shows you how competitive it is, but big frustration because, again, it started off okay, but in that second half of the run, 10th here, 100th there, you know, it all filtered away.
Yeah, I think she will be disappointed with that. I mean, considering how close the girls were yesterday, to lose, you know, 9 100ths there, I think she might be a little bit disappointed. But we'll see how it stacks up.
Yeah. Just have a look at the start again, because this obviously is part of the importance of the run. You can gain time, lose time at this part. Looked all right, didn't it?
Yeah, in and down, nice and neat. Handling. Yeah.
And then you've got to keep it off the wall at corner 0, I guess, because you don't want to lose too much time with a tap one side and maybe pinball to the other.
Yeah, you can kill your run even before it started on corner 0 if you really drive it into there. Okay, maybe wondering what's happened there.
Yeah.
But she's still in contention, you know, and its consistency is key over four heats. So, yeah, let's see what's up. Kim Kalicki. Saw some great start times from her as well yesterday. Yeah. I mean, Lonnie Fibing on the back is just a phenomenal athlete.
And that track record yesterday was mighty impressive, but then a surprise in a way to find her third. So, good start. Maybe a little bit longer to get on board there from Kim Kalicki than others, and a little bit wide at corner 0, and the start
time was down to 51, so they'll be looking to boost that in heat 4. But not bad into corner 0. And again, it's all about keeping it clean at the top of the track here.
But a 10th down on aggregate. This is the reigning world champion, don't forget. Track record holder here. Somebody that's always had a good World Cup record at Winterberg. So now, in the second half of the track, Kim Kalicki needs to try and build it together. Yeah,
third best speed, so she's still losing time. I mean, there's nothing glaringly obvious about this run. There's nothing that's showing that she's driving it particularly badly. A little bit of a whip into corner 9 there, so a little bit late. But drives from 9 through to 11 fine. Down is the lower labyrinth now. Okay, keeping it smooth through there. Yeah, that
wide maybe up the wall, but 2 tenths down. So where is this going to put Kim Kalicki? Third is the answer. 2:48.43.
And that gap's growing. Yeah, she's just 23 hundredths now behind the leader. We didn't see that yesterday, so just goes to show what kind of a drive Lisa Bukovic's had.
Absolutely right. Absolutely so. So there's a good reception for Kim Kalicki as she arrives in the finish area, but she'll be disappointed with that because she needs to be getting ahead, not losing more hundreds. So add it all together, frustration in Heat 2 and Heat 3. Far cry from the heroics of getting that track record yesterday.
23 hundredths is a lot to make up in one heat as well. So
and especially against this level.
Yeah, of course. And where, like I said earlier, the consistency is key.
A little bit wide there.
Yeah, and a little bit skiddy. Yeah, I missed that. see, that might have cost her the time at the top of the track there. I think she had the second best velocity getting into the sled off the third fastest time, so not too bad, but like you say, that bit of an error there could have just killed her velocity a little bit.
Well, Keisha Love, fourth overnight, is next to go, the former gymnast, before injury got in the way, and then turned to college sprinting, and then turned to bobsleigh. As a 23-year-old in 2020, represented America at the Winter Olympics, 23 months after her debut. Third last year in St. Moritz as a break woman, second appearance in the World Championship, sixth last week in Monobob, and a really good day yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. And Keisha's one of our real success stories because she's got into the front seat. You know, she was a fantastic break woman. Oh, bit of an error loading there. She's just got her leg caught. It's a good start time, but what's that going to do to her velocity? Yeah, it's the fourth best velocity. So just getting her leg caught there. Obviously not getting onto the D-rings fast enough and making a bit of an error into corner zero. Just killed her velocity. She's going to have to be absolutely perfect up here.
Azaria Hill, the break woman, and look, they're 7/10 of a second down. So we keep saying it, but at the top of the hill where it's relatively flat, it's down to the push. It's down to that explosion out of the blocks, isn't it?
That's it. It's all about throwing yourself down the track as fast as you can. And you know, as a brakeman myself, I can really empathise with you know, you just want that fastest time, get yourself hyped up and push as fast as you can.
So she's trying to rebuild this run, but in the sectors, fourth. Oh, we've only had four.
Big bang there going into the final corner.
So she's going to be the slowest, isn't she? She comes off the Zeal curver.
Yeah, a little bit ragged down the bottom there. Yeah, we'll see a second back. So I definitely think Brianna Walker's going to be looking at that one, thinking, you know, potentially a good run here could put her up into fourth. So, but like I was saying, Keisha Love, one of our success stories, you know, in bobsleigh. I mean, she jumped into the front seat last season for a little bit, but this is her first proper season, and she's been doing fantastically. Yeah. That's just that error there loading.
I would back you up on what you say about Bree Walker looking to go ahead, but maybe also Alana Myers-Taylor and possibly Adele Nicol, because you take the top three, they're covered by just over 2/10, and it's then 0.8 of a second margin before you get to Keisha Love. So I reckon another skid there and more rattling against the wall. I reckon that quite a few might be able to squeeze ahead of her. Let's see. Yeah.
She looks happy enough. Look at that. There we go. But what we know from these girls is they can always pull out a massive start. Yeah. So that's going to help them in the final heat. Obviously, Keisha, a bit of an error on the load there, but I don't think that'll happen again. So, you know, she's definitely got some time to make up on the start.
Well, Bree Walker, who was fourth in the Monobob Worlds last week and 14th in the World Championships as her best, former 400-metre hurdler from Mount Waverley in Victoria, started off in 2016 and had a good day yesterday. Fifth overnight. Let's see whether that's going to be an improvement after this heat. Good load.
See the start time?
Oh,
5:56.
That's the slowest yet. It's the fifth of the 5 times, so that's disappointing. And look, it's already red, so she's lost time.
It's a faster start time than yesterday for Bree.
True.
So, but we know she's a world-class driver. I mean, obviously that's shown in the Monobob. So yeah, when you've got someone with her talent behind the D-rings, they can make up a lot. Obviously, she can make up a lot of time down the track. So let's see, looking good into Kreisel.
But in terms of times, only 5th within the intermediates of the 5, and still not ahead of anybody else on aggregate.
Look at the velocity though; she's up to second best velocity.
Yeah. But another 10th lost, so it's just not quick enough, this, for Bree Walker. Looks okay to the eye, but the speed is not there. Look, she's going to be close to being a second off the pace. A little bit wide into the Zeal curver. Over a second.
So she's taken Keisha. So she's moved up one spot there, up into fourth.
Is that right? I think she's equalled the time, hasn't she? 2:49.27. So
oh, wow, yeah.
Equalled it, currently fourth. But yes, that puts her ahead for the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so nothing to split them.
No, absolutely. Tied to the 100th. But I'm still a bit surprised because, again, it's a big chunk of time lost to the German FES sleds. Now, whether that's down to driver or start or the aero of the sled, discuss. But
yeah,
it seemed like quite a big gap between the 3 Germans and then Keisha Love, but it's got no smaller.
No, it hasn't. But I mean, we saw it yesterday. You know, the 3 Germans, they pulled away in the first heat, pulled away in the second heat. So yeah, maybe it's no surprise, but they do. The Germans, we know they have great kit. But yeah, in terms of the drive, I mean, potentially a little bit to be gained there by Bree. But I think she'll be happy that she's joined 4th. You know.
True. So the order is Lisa Butvitz from Lara Nolta from Kim Kalicki, then Keisha Love and Bree Walker tied 4th, and it is Ilana Myers-Taylor, a double world champion, who is next to go. And Ilana knows everything there is to know, really, about bobsleigh. She's been there, done it, won it, got the woolly hat.
She certainly does, yeah. I think she's been dubbed Supermom because she has her sons out on the circuits with her. So it's a 5:50 start.
Which is good.
Yeah, a good start. Anything down in the 5.5s is up there, world class. So it's a good way to get off.
So 4th best start. Now, the time you're seeing is in comparison to Lisa Bukvitz. What we need to see is whether she's going to be able to jump ahead of, for example, fellow countrywoman Keisha Love. And all that experience of Ilana Myers-Taylor being channeled into this. Through the Kreisel now. It all looks good. But not able to rival Lisa Bukvitz's time for the moment. Out of 9, towards 10 in a moment. Speed still building on this second part of the run.
Yeah, shoots through to 11 quite nicely there.
Out of the labyrinth.
Looking clean through the lower labyrinth. Bit of a tap there going into the final corner.
She's a second down, but where is this going to put her? 6th best speed and 6th in the times.
Place. Okay. So she's made up a little bit of time there on Keisha, but yeah, she stays in the same place. But if you look at her start time, she has managed to bring that down. Her best start yesterday was a 5:54. So 5:50 today, they'll definitely be pleased with that. And Emily Renner has done a great job on the back handle there to bring that time down. And like I was saying earlier, you know, for the break women especially, you get yourself so hyped up for these pushes. It can be quite emotionally draining. So sometimes coming into the second day of a major championships, we see either break women dropping off or they get better. And in Emily Renner's case, yeah, she's pushed a great time there along with Ilana Myers-Taylor. So well done for that.
Indeed. So that's the first 6 through. Just getting the replay of Ilana Myers-Taylor. It was neat, it was tidy, but not able to rival the German times. But they're still content with that.
There we go, yeah. Nice to see the smiles on a sunny day.
Now we want some more smiles out of these two. Adele Nicol and Kaya Placide. Adele, who was in the commentary box earlier on in the day, 9th in Monobob last week, former shot putter, discus thrower. Yesterday had an absolutely mega run. The 2 Welsh girls are set to go. Kaya Placide, who doesn't even drive on the road, so she dubs herself the ultimate passenger princess. They've got the New Saints Football Club badge on the front of the sled, and they're in business now. Let's see how good a start this is going to be.
63. Okay, so that puts them around where they were yesterday. We know they're going to lose a little bit off the start compared to the Germans and the Americans. However, Adele has put 2 great runs together yesterday, so hopefully she can do the same today.
So what she needs to be aiming for really now is something in the low 2:49s, sort of Keisha Love, Bree Walker type time. 2.5 down on Lisa Bukvitz, but that's not really her fight at the moment.
No, that's it. She'll be looking forward. She'll be looking at that pack of sleds in front of her and hoping she can hunt them down.
They'll tap off the wall there, but I don't think it's phased her too much.
No, yeah, looking good through there.
Yeah. So remember, something in the low 2:49s is the target. And we're almost at the end of the run. 1.76 of a second down on Lisa Bukvitz. This is the Zeal curver. Clock
speed.
ticks, 48, 49, 250.07. I think she might be a little bit frustrated with that. It's good, but she would have liked quicker.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you know, it's put her, you know, obviously firmly in 7th. We'll have to see what Melanie Hasler can do, because I know she had a bit of a slow first run after crashing into the wall off the start. So Melanie might be looking now to push up the field. But well done, Adele.
Yeah, she's happy anyway.
Yeah, it's honestly, she's, like I say, another success story, jumping in the front seat of a bobsleigh last season for the first time, and she's already up in the top 10 at a major champs. And Kaya Placide in the back. I mean, 19 years of age. You know, a little diamond in the rough that we found this year, I think. You know, she came down to the push track, not unlike me, you know, and pushed some amazing times, and look where she is. She's at a World Championships. I mean, it's brilliant.
Adele was saying this morning she'd like to be in the top 6, and she's only 1300ths off the top 6. So she's almost there.
Yeah, that's definitely doable. That's definitely doable. You know, a good clean run and maybe drop a little bit off the start in the next heat, and she could do that.
Now, Melanie Hasler, as you rightly say, Aaron, had that slightly raggy start yesterday. She was 11th in the Monobob Worlds last week, 4th appearance in the World Championships in 2-woman competition, having been 4th last year. Ex-volleyball player, and rattled up the wall. That didn't look good.
A little tap. Again, that's what she did in her first run yesterday, and it just, like I say, if you hit that wall coming off the start line, it really kills your speed. It can kill your run even before it's begun. So, but let's see what she can do now. She's coming down she's still at the top of the track here, so again, she wants to minimise the errors. Around corner 5. It's looking good. Little tap going on to Kreisel.
Her target really is Adele Nicol, isn't it? So she's got to try to go better than a 2 minutes 50.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, for all of these guys here, they need to be looking forward, not worried about the people behind them, because if you do that, you start stressing out.
But also work out what your battle is, because it's, in a sense, unrealistic to be challenging Alita Bukvit's type time, but this is looking pretty good anyway, and it's a 2:50.15, slightly slower than Adele Nicol, not by much. It does put Melanie Hasler 8th of the 8. But there's a good battle going on to be 6th, isn't there now? Because the number of competitive drivers is getting larger all the time.
It is, yeah. We like to see this drama going into the final heat, you know, and it is very close. But she seems pretty happy with that. I mean, again, it's just that bit of an error in corner 0 just coming off the start. I mean, they might show it in the replay, and it does just kill your speed early.
One thing we've not yet touched on, and perhaps we should, is that a little tag on the wall there.
Yeah, and a skid.
Yeah, pushes you out wide.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because you want to be in the top 20 after this. It's the top 20 that go into Heat 4, isn't it? So, yes, it's about being quick, but it's also about being in that magic 20.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's looking to get that 4th heat, especially for the younger crews, the new programs. They'll be the ones really looking at just getting into that 4th heat will be a major achievement for them. Of course, it's all experience. So, anyway, on to Canada.
Yeah, Cynthia Appiah, the former shot putter, who's a good starter, came to Bobsleigh in 2014 as a brakewoman, then became a driver in 19, having been overlooked for the Olympic team, considered quitting the sport and thought, no, I'll come back as a driver, channel all that aggression into being a driver, and she's made a really, really good job of it. A good start to the eye. Let's see what the clock tells us, 5.59.
Okay, a little bit rattly off corner 0 there, just caught the wall afterwards, but a good start. In comparison to yesterday, it puts her right in the mix. She started a 5.60 and a 5.58, so it's about where we'd expect.
So now trying to buy back some time heading down the hill. This is the relatively shallow part of it, but then you've got that steeper gradient after corner 9, 110-metre vertical drop. 760 metres is the altitude at the start, 665 at the bottom, and this run 1.33 kilometres long. Camera phones at the ready. Big crowd here. Great atmosphere as well, isn't there?
Oh, it really is, yeah. There's some bands playing, music, lots of food and drink, so I think they're all enjoying themselves. Yeah, one of the track workers said it's about 5,000 people here, so good atmosphere. Let's see how Cynthia does.
Over the line, 8 minutes 50.08, so 100th shy of Adele, but ahead of Melanie Hasler.
That's it, she's picked up a spot, so she'll be pleased with that. Yeah, good pump of the fists there, so she is pleased with that. Well done, Cynthia.
And they're happy with it. Leah Walkerton, the brakewoman.
Yeah.
Cynthia Appiah jumps out of the sled.
And these
a little bit wide there, though.
A little bit wide there. A bit of a rattle off the wall there as well. So definitely looking to improve that in the second heat, but in the 4th heat rather. But these are the things that you know, these athletes are striving for over 4 heats. You've got the liberty to chase people down, to chip away. So gaining a spot there. Is really, really well done by Cynthia, and really important going into the final heat.
One more run, guys, let's go!
Yeah, one more run.
That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, and a 10th away from Adele, so of course she's going to be looking to get Adele.
Yeah, just a 100th of a second between those two. That's game on for Heat 4. Bianca Reedy and the Irish-born Niamh Hockey are next to go. Bianca was in Monobob Worlds last week, finished 17th, 13th in last year's World Championships and 12th last year here in the World Cup event. She was a former elite soccer player and another competitor that began as a brakewoman before jumping into the driver's seat, and that's exactly what she's about to do now. Let's see how good a start time it is. 5.65, not great.
So leaving that handle up as well. We saw that yesterday. I think that's a bit of a tactic by the Canadians. But this is really a battle within a battle here, because you know, with Cynthia just in front of her coming into this heat, she'll be looking to chase her down for sure. But yeah, start slightly slower than Cynthia. Niamh on the back. She's a great athlete as well. Speaking to her, she spent the Christmas over in Ireland with her family.
She started off as a Gaelic footballer, didn't she, having grown up in Ireland? So real contrast, Gaelic football to bobsleigh. But the two work really well as a partnership. And can this get Bianca Reedy ahead of Melanie Hasler.
Looking good into 11.
She's on target to be 10th, but she wants to be 9th, if at all possible. A little bit wide there. Last corner, this is the Zeal curver up towards the timing line. She'll break the beam. Yeah, 9th. Goes ahead of Melanie Hasler.
Okay, so we've seen, Melanie drop a couple of places there, and like I say, that could be just that error at the start, you know, really taking the velocity out of this.
0.7. Appia 250.0. Bianca Reevy 250.0.
Yeah, this is close. It's really setting up, isn't it? It's going to be an exciting last heat for sure.
Absolutely.
But like I say, like, it's just for Adele, who's at the front of that group, she doesn't want to be looking back because, you know, that's where you get the nerves, right? She just wants to focus on Elena Myers-Taylor in front of her and see if she can make any time up on her. So
now we've had a notification of a crew change for Riley T-Jack, which we'll come to in due course. There was a bit of a question mark as to whether they'd be taking part or not, but we'll come to that in a little while, as this is the current leaderboard. So Lisa Bukovic now 900ths of a second up on Laura Nolter, but then 2/10s back is where you find Kim Kalicki. And here, ready to go, is Andrea Grecu, with Teodora Andrea Vlad as the brake woman. And again, a start, anything in the 550s will be good, and a 565.
Okay, 565. Yeah, it's the slowest of the lot so far. However, her fastest start yesterday was a 567. So she has improved on yesterday, which is what you want to see over the days. And not looking too bad here at the top of the track, actually. Keeping it nice and clean there. Maybe a little tap there, but nothing to scream home about. We're good into Preisel. Let's just see her exit off here. Yeah, okay, so that's good. And 6th fastest velocity as well. So she is finding some speed at the top part of the track. Hopefully she can keep it nice and clean coming into the bottom. This is where the sled really starts to pick up speed down into this lower labyrinth. And it is quite tricky. Yeah, no, looking good onto the final curve. 2nd fastest velocity, so we could see her pick up some time here.
Aiming for the 250, she's there, but a 250.11, fractionally down on what she was aiming for. So 2 minutes 50.11, but she's still ahead of
puts
Hasler
into
by
10.
400s. Yeah,
so
top 10.
Yeah, Melanie Hasler has dropped 3 spots now. So, but no, another good drive by Andrea, and that puts her in a good spot. Again, with that tight group in front of her, she might be looking to break into that come the final heat. Tidy load. And actually, a really good drive by Andrea. A really good drive. I mean, she's a great starter in Monobob. And again, it's all for these guys. It's all about developing, and if they can improve athletically, you know, they can transfer that great start she has in Monobob, transfer it into the 2-woman and be quite competitive. Of course, we've got Milan in 2 years' time that they're going to be aiming for. So.
Yeah, the more you look at the time set by others, the more you wonder what went wrong for Melanie Hasler, because she's just dropped like a stone, hasn't she?
Yeah, she really has.
Can Katie Bile get ahead as well? Let's see. Katie Bile and Anna Schenk together. Takes a little bit longer for Anna Schenk to jump on board, but she's there now.
So 67 yesterday, 70 today. Okay, so slightly down. And this is where we talk about, you know, brakemen and drivers, of course, both of them pushing the sled. How fresh can they stay overnight? How well do they recover? So potentially seeing a little bit of fatigue there for these two. But we know Katie Bile is a great driver, so let's see what she can pull back down the track.
Low 250s puts her in that fight to be 6th. 249 would be ideal, but I don't think that's going to come.
No, I think that's going to be a big ask.
Yeah.
We got 10th fastest velocity there, so well, that's dropped to 6th now. So she's finding some speed in these lower corners.
She is trying to rebuild the run, if you like. Katie Bile, then the Austrian coming
a bit late off 9 there.
Yeah, through the labyrinth and then down to the Zeal curver. She's 2 seconds off of booking time, way up the wall there.
A little bit late off 13.
Recovered it and up to the timing line. Where does that put her? 12th, 2 minutes 50.30.
Yeah.
That's the slowest yet. Surprised that.
Yeah, so
jumped so much time.
A lot of the crews yesterday, we saw them struggling through that sort of 13-14 transition and hitting the wall quite hard there. We did see that with Melanie, actually, earlier. But maybe it's, like I said, the conditions aren't quite as good today. It's slightly slower, so maybe they've been able to control it a little bit better down in the bottom of the track. But we'll see as we get down the field, because that 13-14 transition has definitely been an area for contention. Just here, look.
Very, very wide up the wall there.
Yeah.
Late flop down as well.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Not quite as dramatic as yesterday. We saw some of the brake women in the back getting knocked about a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a roll, didn't we, in the four-man earlier on in the day, and then it flipped back onto the runners, saved the day for contender. Right, Margot Bock is next, the French lady with Carla Seneschal as the brake woman. Margot was 10th in Monobob last week and 5th in last year's World Championships. So, good start required. Looked good, looked tidy, and the 9th best, 5.63.
Okay, so that's a real big improvement on yesterday. 66 was their best time, so they managed to drop 300s off on the start already. So they'll be pleased with that. Margot in the military, in the French army.
A little bit wide there, potentially, but even so, this is looking quick.
Okay, maybe a little tap going into Kreisel, but looking like a nice high smooth line through there, so not too bad at all. Ooh, a little bit skiddy there.
Sectors in the splits.
Another tap going into 9. They didn't throw her too far wide, she wasn't too late into 9.
But looking at the split times, this could get her ahead of the likes of Bianca Reilly, Melanie Hasler. Let's see. As long as she doesn't lose too much time towards the bottom, she's now 9th in that penultimate split. Up to the line, where's she going to drop in? 13th in the end. It is the slowest. It all kind of unravelled towards the bottom. A bit like we were seeing in four-man this morning. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we could be starting to see the track degrading here. She just ducked under the cowling through the finish line there just to try and get any kind of time out of that. But yeah, like you say, the track was degrading very quickly this morning, so it might be the same. Might be the same for these girls. But I tell you what, got to take the positives from it, right? They improved on the start. Which will be great for the brakeman there, Carla. She'll be pleased about that. And actually, the top section did look quite smooth. So she was only 200ths down on Catty Bile. The problem is that you're talking thousands almost, never mind hundreds. It is that competitive.
It really is. Yeah, it's you know, if you blink in the wrong place, you can make a mistake and lose that time. So. Right.
Qing Ying and Yu Wang for China next to go. Qing Ying's 5th World Championship appearance, the 2nd for Yu Wang, and 9th last year. Qing Ying was 15th in Monobob Worlds last week. 14th became 12th from Heat 1 to Heat 2. Let's see what can happen here. 5.67, only the 13th best start time.
Yeah, equals their best start time of yesterday. So yeah, it's probably about what we expected there, but China, of course, held the last Olympics, and they're definitely trying to keep that legacy going in the men's and the women's. Developing kit, it's all about getting, you know, good sleds, good athletes. They've got another 2 years to the games, and I think we are starting to see them creep up the field compared to last season. So they're doing well.
So something in the low 2-minute 50s would be ideal. About 2 seconds of drift of Elisa Bukovic's time currently. Qing Ying heading then through the labyrinth now down at the end of this course. It's 1.3 kilometre long course through the Zeal Curva, and is the time going to be in the 50s? It's going to be close. It is a 2 minutes 50.59, 14th. That's the slowest we've had yet. Frustration there.
Yeah, potentially, especially when you're looking forward to trying to gain some spots, but there is a fairly sizable gap now there between Qing Ying and Margot Bock. So I think it might be a bit too much to ask to catch Margot Bock. It's all about holding position at this point. But with it, there's a talented Polish pair behind her that might be looking at that, thinking, we could make up some time here.
Was there a tiny stumble there possibly by Ying Qing as she got on board, as though her foot just tagged the bodywork as she had to leap on board the sled? But
yeah, we saw that from Keisha Love earlier, didn't we? So anything like that, just split seconds, and you're not behind the D-rings as fast as you want to be, and it could mean a skid out of the groove. But yeah, we're starting to get to know the Chinese teams a lot better, and they've got some great athletes coming through. Speaking of which,
Linda Wajcicki for Poland. Now, this is the 15th ranked driver overnight. The point behind that is that we're getting now towards the bottom end of our top 20, so a few of these might be on the bubble. Let's see whether they're going to progress to Heat 4. A little bit wide at corner 0, but actually kept it off the wall on the other side, so recovered pretty well there.
Yeah, not bad. Shot that nice and straight. A little bit down on the start compared to yesterday. Could be that fatigue setting in. But She did drive well yesterday. It all looked very nice and smooth, and it all looked very uneventful, which sometimes is fast. So let's see what she can do there.
2.26 seconds down. Lisa Bukvich through the Prizal now.
Little tap into Prizal.
Here's the part of the track where you're heading towards the speed getting better and better. 15 velocity there.
Nicely onto 9 though. Let's see how she shoots through into 11. Yeah, that's looking good. She's a talented driver. I mean, she hasn't been driving long, and yeah, to be at the World Champs, you know, in a resurgent program, she's doing really well. 15th.
2 minutes 50.89, so 3/10 down on Qing Ying. 16th in last year's World, so looking to go better than that. She is at the moment. So Linda Waszewski arrives at the finish with Marika Sandeka. In her second World Championship appearance, they were 8th together in the Europeans at Seville earlier on in the year. And we're about to have a junior world champion because Deborah Anand will be next. But here's the replay of the runners pouring at the air there, really, on the front left. But Linda Waszewski able to recover from that.
Yeah.
Quite a crash landing there.
Yeah, a little bit late off 13 again. Seeing some of the drivers struggling through that section. Doesn't seem quite as violent as yesterday. That might just be because of the speed, but you know, you lose time going into that last corner. It is quite a hefty uphill section in that last corner. Comes back up 3 stories.
So this is Deborah Anand, gold in the women's junior monobob at Samoritz this year, and the daughter of Martin Anand, very successful bobsledder himself.
Yeah, took quite a lot out of corner 0 there. That might kill her velocity.
It's only the 16th best start time, and she's the 16th to go. So in other words, slowest start time.
Yeah, we start to see a bit of a gap here now coming into the lower part of the field. You know, we'd probably expect to see 70s is what we'd expect.
But for a World Championship debut, being in the top 20 is the target.
Well, that's it, yeah. So, you know, Deborah's done a great job to put herself in 16th place overnight. She'll be pleased with that, so let's see what she can do. Swiss, obviously, historically, a very good bobsleighing nation. They do have good kit. And it's actually, yeah, looking quite good down here. Maybe a little bit late off 13, but into 14, all looking nice. 11th best speed.
And 16th fastest, 2:51.20. So it's the slowest. Should be frustrated with that, but you know, a lot of this for some of them at this level is about experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, she's lost a bit of time there to the Polish pair, so you know she might be a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
And yeah, Victoria Shananska behind her could be looking at that, thinking, you know, maybe this is a space I can pick up here, because
absolutely
she's only a 10th behind or so. So yeah, less than that, half a 10th. So yeah, if Shananska has a good run, she could potentially pick Deborah Anand off there.
Yeah, there's a good fight going on. We talked about it at the sort of bottom end of top 6. And there's another one here as well. So Victoria Shananska and Lucia Moklasova next to go. And Victoria Shananska 7th in the Europeans, 14th in last year's Worlds, 21st in monobob last week. The push starts, and let's see where this is going to put her. 5.6, 5.7 would be okay, and a 5.75, I'm afraid, is the slowest in this third heat. So not a great getaway.
Not great, but improvement on yesterday. So best yesterday was a 77, so 75 improvement overnight, so that's a positive. And she did have some great runs yesterday, actually, Victoria. She looked, you know, kept it nice and clean, especially in this top section of the track, which is really important, keeping that velocity. And let's see how it compares and how it stacks up to Deborah Anand in front of her. She'll be looking to hunt her down a little bit late there. And a little bit late into 9, got that bit of a whip. Oh, and a tap in 10.
There's little errors like that all conspire against you, and it unsettles the rhythm and unsettles the flow down the hill. 1 corner to go, and it's going to be a 250 or a 251. Yes, 251.17. So that, I'm afraid, is quicker than Deborah Anand.
Yeah, she's gained a spot there.
Yeah,
so that's what she'll be pleased with that, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it's slower than she would like to be, maybe, but she has at least gained a spot. That's the good news.
Yeah,
right.
And being so far down the start order, of course, David, like I said earlier, the track will start to degrade. Definitely saw a lot of that this morning in the four-man. So the fact that she's able to gain a spot on such a low down start order is good.
Sure. And you've got another fight developing there, haven't you? Because that's what 300s between Chenanska and Deborah Annan going into Heat 4, if they can stay in that top 20.
Yeah, that's it. I think it looks like they could be safe. Mind you, we've got Kelly Van Petegem next, and she's definitely going to be looking at taking up a spot. Very talented driver.
Yes.
And a good starter as well.
Indeed, we saw that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was the Eurotech sled then, and for somebody that started in 2018, Kelly Van Petegem with Unity de Klerk behind. Starts a crucial run to make sure she's in that top 20. 20th in Heat 1, up to 15th at the end of Heat 2, and 5.79 off the start. Not great.
No, not great. They won't be too pleased with that. It's a bit slower than yesterday, and took quite a lot out of corner 0 there as well, which might hurt their velocity. And we'll see.
7 kilometres an hour speed on a build, but it's tough at this part of the track.
It is, yeah. A bit of a tap there as well, going into 5. Bit skiddy into 6, and another tap into the Kreisel.
Burst into the sunlight, into the Kreisel itself, then back into the shade.
Yeah, seeing 18th fastest speed at the moment, and I think these taps are just starting to add up down the track now.
Yeah, she needs a low 2:51 here to be ahead of Chenanska. But even that doesn't look like it's a shoe-in, does it? 3 seconds down, at least a good sort of skid there.
Yeah,
and
late
wide. 2:51 is it, or is it going to be slower than that? It's a 2:51.63. Palmer is happy, if nothing else.
Yeah, I'm not too sure she's going to be too pleased with that.
No, I think you're right, because that should really have been a little bit better.
Yeah,
there's applause, but there's a muted reaction from the crew.
Yeah, she's lost a bit of time there on Deborah Annan, and yeah, start time down as well. So she's got a lot to do in the final heat. A bit messy down the track, a few taps.
And once that gets into your head that you've made a mistake, another one comes and another one comes.
This is it. You've got to be thinking 3 corners ahead. Yeah. You know, you don't want to be thinking about what you've just done. You know, so yeah, a little bit messy.
Wall, a skid, a tap.
Yeah,
triple whammy there.
Yeah. A lot of the drivers finding that transition quite difficult. But that is, of course, when you're going at your top speed. So
now this is Melissa Lockholtz, who is the next one to go, 19th overnight. Another former brakewoman. And 5.76 off the start, so quicker than Van Petegem.
Yeah, so it puts them around where they were yesterday. Alex Klein on the back there, basketball player. And Melissa had a season out last year, but she's come back into the driver's seat. She picked up a few medals over in the NAC, so she can drive.
Yeah, certainly can. A little bit wide there maybe, but gets away with it. So remember, we're now looking at things in the 2:51s, the low 2:51s ideally, to make sure you're in that top 20 to go into Heat 4.
So not looking too bad there, yep, no. Good into 9.
A reminder as well, that time that everything is being compared against is the best, which is Lisa Book's time from earlier on. Through the labyrinth now, heading towards the Zeal curve, which is this, which brings you around to the finish line, the timing line. She'll break the timing beam, and a 2:51.33.
And there we go, she's gained a spot. So
yeah,
she's picked off Kelly Van Petegem there, and she should be pleased with that. I mean, it was nice and tidy down at the bottom, and considering the track, you know, could be degrading at this point. She's had a good run. Not too skiddy, getting onto the corners at the right times. So potentially just a bit of a flop off 9 there, but she shot through to 11 well.
But as you say, she's gained a place, pleased with that, and potentially we'll be able to hang on to that, because Riley T-Jack, who is next, has got a different brakewoman. So just during this third heat, the news has come that it is going to be Jestana Matson who will be the brakewoman. So not only is the pressure on to be in the top 20, the pressure is on to suddenly gel as a combination, having not done the first 2 runs together.
That's it, and we've got to wonder as well how early she was told, because sometimes you can be sat there and mentally not prepared.
Yeah.
And although that is your job as a professional, but if you're told really late, I think you need to go out and quickly warm up. But we'll see in the start time.
So 20th after Heat 2, it is Riley T-Jack who is on the bubble here, and she's got to stay in the top 20. Can't hemorrhage time. 5.81 off the start.
Okay, so a little bit slower than yesterday, but of course change in brakewoman, like we said. But now for Riley, it's all about keeping it clean. She a little bit ragged yesterday on some of her runs, but
crashed in both heats, Sandy, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She flopped off that last corner, so she'll be looking to avoid that today. The track's a little bit slower, so that could play into her hands. And actually, she's looking quite good. Yeah, maybe a little tap into Kreisel there, but
her undoing, though, has been that last corner, the Zeal curver. So good here, but if you like, the bogey corner is yet to come and wide, and big tap into the wall, as you say.
Those are late. Late off 9 as well. Bit of a skid through to 11.
San Diego-born Marine captain who's got a children's book out later in the year. Oh, rattles off the wall there. Come on, Riley, keep it the right way up.
In trouble
out
here.
of Zeal curver.
There she goes.
2:52.05, another crash, I'm afraid, for Riley T-Jack. And that's a pattern, 3 out of 3, I'm afraid, and it's all at that last corner. What did Greg Hackett call it yesterday? The victory roll?
The victory roll through the finish line, yeah. Let's hope the girls are all right. And she, problem is, she took that big tap on the 13-14 transition. It just threw her into the final corner late. It looked like the girls were out there. They look okay. But here we go, look, that big tap, and it just threw her into the corner late.
And what speed are you doing there?
That, I mean, it's 130 kilometers an hour today, so that's your top speed section. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the girls struggle there, but not quite as dramatic as this, and you'll see those big waves up and down the final corner. Brakewoman will be feeling those pressures, and it's almost a carbon copy of yesterday.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and then the crash helmet to the wall, and just Anna Matson behind is thinking, why did I agree to this?
There we go. You can do it, Riley. The great thing about Riley, she's always got a big smile on her face. She's so lovely.
Undaunted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just shows her determination. Tough girls.
Great character as well.
Yeah, we might have a little break here, I suppose, while they just check the track.
So how does that affect the mindset of the next athlete? Let me just quickly do the leaderboard and we'll come back to that. Lisa Buchwitz from Laura Nolta, Kim Kalicki, those three covered by 0.23 of the second. Top 6 rounded out by Keisha Love, Bree Walker, they're tied on times, and then Ilana Myers-Taylor to round out the top 10. Adele Nicol from Cynthia Appia, Bianca Reevy, and then Andrea Greco. You've got yourself all psyched up, you're ready to go, and then there's a track hold.
Yeah, it actually happened to us last year at Winterberg.
Right.
We had a Latvian crew in front of us. I think it might have been a Calendar, and he went down and crashed. We were on the start line ready to go. Of course, you're gassing yourself up. All of a sudden, you know, you've got 5 minutes to wait, or at least, right? So there's a little hut just to the right of the picture there that we scurried in, stood right next to the radiators, but it was a little bit colder than it was today, so I think we needed it.
Because in terms of clothing, okay, you take your big jacket off, you've got one layer, presumably, for air.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, so...
Weight.
Yeah, so you've got a thin lycra race suit, and then underneath that, you know, you're probably wearing a Burns vest as well to keep yourself a little bit protected. But I'll tell you what, when it's cold, you know, it doesn't take long to cool down, and that's definitely not what you want when you're trying to get a fastest push start.
No, sure. So less than a minute before we can get Sarah Blizzard underway.
Yeah, so we've got the Aussie pair here, and we've got Desi Johnson on the back. I know she struggled with some injuries over the past few years, and it's a bit of a dream come true for her to come and represent her country at the World Championship. And she's done well to get herself into shape for this. So,
Sarah was saying the aim is to be in that top 20. Well, she's 21st, but could improve. So, if she gets better than a 2:52, which is the time, including the crash, of course, of Riley T-Jack, she's in. Mission accomplished. So this is going to be really interesting to see whether she's in or out of the competition.
That's it, yeah. She needs the drive of her life. And, of course, all these places as well. I mean, a lot of governing bodies look at where you finish in the World Championships. That can dictate how much funding you get and all that sort of thing. There's a lot on the line here. And Sarah, a new driver, started last year, but this is her first proper season, really. So to be in a World Championships, fighting for that top 20, it's a great job.
So they psych themselves up, eyes forward, ready to push. This to stay in the competition. This to progress to Heat 4. This to beat 2:52.05. They're in, they're away, the handles are down, and the start is a 5.81, which matches Riley T-Jack.
Okay, so a little bit down on yesterday, but kept it relatively smooth out of the corner zero there. A little bit skiddy, but let's see what she can do.
So again, we're looking at that time compared with Lisa Buchwitz. What we need to be looking at really towards the end is where she's going to blend in relative to T-Jack, Van Petergem, Lotholtz, to try and be the right side of 20th into the Kreisel.
Yeah, a little tap going into Kreisel, but it looks like she's managed it well. And that's nice off there. So we've seen the 20th fastest velocity there. So not too much speed coming into the bottom section. Nice through 9. So this could help her. Okay, keeping it nice and clean. This is a good drive by Sarah.
So 2:52.05 to beat. 1 corner to go. Is this going to keep her in the top 20?
Oh.
No! 2:52.08, misses out by 0.03 of a second. That's so near.
Agonisingly close,
isn't it ever? Got a feel for Sarah Blizzard because she put everything into that run.
She did. She'll be gutted with that.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, hats off to you, Sarah. This is your first major champs, and you've done really well. And Desi as well, like I said, you know, coming back from all the injuries and things like that, she should be, both of them, really proud of themselves for coming and representing Australia. And yeah,
absolutely.
Great job.
Yeah, Sarah Blizzard, who's got her own online nutrition business, misses out on progressing to Heat 4. We've got 3 to go. Georgeta Popescu, Leah Hasselvanta, who crashed yesterday, and Lauren Jolo, who's been in the wars through training. Sarah Blizzard and Desi Johnson will smile, but they'll be disappointed. And Georgeta Popescu has the same problem. Got to be the drive of her life to stay in that 20, if she can get that.
It really does, yeah. It's quite a big gap between her and the girls in front, so we need to see something quite special here.
400s down on the start, 5:85. It's not looking great, you've got to say, off the evidence of just that start.
Yeah, I think there's probably a bit too much to do here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, see if she can keep it nice and clean at the top. Looking good here.
She was 25th in Monobob last week, coached by Cesar Popescu, her dad. Started as a bobsleigh competitor in 2016. And second in the under-23 junior worlds at Winterberg in the past.
Ooh, a bit late out of Kreis, a bit of a tap going in as well, which just caused us to wave through Kreis a little bit. Late onto 9, we saw that whip in the sled there. Not too bad off 9, shot into 11 quite well. This is the fast section now, it gets tricky through here. Again, that big flop off 13 into 14.
She needs to be in the 51s to go through. She won't be, and it's a 2:52.94. Misses out. That was a bit of a wild old ride through the last corner, wasn't it? But it stayed the right way up, but not enough to be in the top 20. So 22nd, slowest we've had, and that competition ends here.
Yeah, again, you know, we're looking at these crews and their resurgent programs. You know, a lot of these guys are self-funded as well. You know, and it's really difficult scrapping it out at the bottom there. And you know, until you get good kit, until the athletes develop, it's hard to break up into that top 20. I mean, we're talking about the 20 best women in the world at the sport. So,
true.
You know, to be here and representing our country, it's a massive achievement. There you go, nice smile and a wave. Yeah, she should be pleased.
So, 2 more to go, and Leah Hasselvanta, who also crashed in Heat 1 yesterday, with Linda Brown as the brakewoman, next to go. Looking at the times, looking at the margins, I think it's unrealistic to expect them to get into the top 20, so let's just see where they're going to end the competition within that bottom at 4.
Yeah, so some of our slower starters, best start time was 5:85 yesterday, so let's just see if they can improve on their own time. Whoa, big tap, another big tap, bit skinny at 5:90.
It almost looked like it had come to a stop there. Hemorrhage time, didn't it, as it bounced and reverberated off the walls.
Clattered into that right-hand wall, then again into corner 0. And like I say, that can really kill your velocity at the start.
5.9 was the start time, slowest of anybody. You could see why. So Leah Hasselvanta, of course, another target here is to get away drama-free, unlike Heat 1. Big improvement in Heat 2 through the Kreisel now. And the Austrian comes down the hill, the former athlete. Maiden World Championships in 2-woman bob, 24th in monobob last week.
That's nice onto 9. She's shot through to 11 there, so that's good.
So is this going to keep her at the bottom, or can she gain a place? Let's see. Up to the timing line in a few moments. She'll break the beam now. Whoa. Very nearly topped over, but she's okay.
Yeah, a big flop off that last corner, but yeah, she kept it upright, so well done for that. But
2:53.85 is the slowest, I'm afraid. But again, we talked about it. It's mileage, it's experience, it's learning all the time.
Yeah, this is it, and it's like I say, for a lot of these girls, it's all about improvements, and you know, what an experience to be here as well. I mean, Winterberg's one of the best places for our world champs, because you know, the German fans take it really seriously, and we get a big crowd here, and it's such a great atmosphere, like we said earlier. So,
and it's a great town. The whole town embraces the event. You know, it's not that
they advertise it all around town, and
it's good for the economy. It's good for tourism. It's good for the atmosphere. The prize giving after Heat 4 doesn't take place here. It takes place in a little sort of winter village in the town.
That's it. Yeah. Just next to sort of the Christmas market.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's a great concept.
And I'm sure that'll be packed out tonight as well. So
I'll see you there. Lauren Jolo and Jana Dumpas will be the last to go. And Lauren Jolo was crashing last week in Monobob, crashed in training, there was a trip to hospital. We wish her well for this, I fear, final run of the weekend. For a bit of a skid there as they got on board and bounces off the wall at corner 0. So early in the run and already 2 mistakes.
Yes, we saw her do exactly what Leah did there as well, which just smacked us that wall on the right, pinged her off into corner 0. Saw a bit of that yesterday from her as well, so hasn't quite got that bit right yet. But
actually, it was the 19th best start time out of the 24. So conversely, could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
5.81. So it did look messy, as I say, but actually
a little bit late onto Kreisel. Just saw a bit of a wave through there. Another big tap there,
and again,
all of these taps just scrub away the time, and it's what you really need to avoid at the top of the track.
You could see they're slithering from one side to the other.
Yeah.
It's starting to look a bit more ragged and a bit more scrappy, and that's a bit of a worry because coming into this curve, which we know can catch them out, this is where Lauren Jolo was crashed in the past, but she's okay.
She's okay, and she's through.
2:54.51. She's the slowest, but she's done it. She's survived.
Yeah, well done, Lauren. That's it. So unfortunately, that's the world champ's over. But like we say, take the positives away from it. And finishing that last run on the runners, so to speak, she'll be able to come here next year and take some confidence away from that. So
she's only had 2 years of sliding, so she's learning
out
all
the
time.
There. Yeah, big skid, another big whack into 0.
Yeah, they got that decent start time, but after that was when it unravelled a bit.
Yeah, it's like I said, we were saying track of 2 halves, and it's very flat at the top. If you make any mistakes, and unfortunately that was quite a big one, it can really scrub away your speed. And while it's flat, it's difficult to build speed. Obviously you can find it when it's steep, but because a lot of this track is flat, you can't make any errors.
And despite any disappointment, there's still time for a wave and a smile. So 3 heats done. The final is coming up in about half an hour's time or so. 4 o'clock we're going to be in business, and it is Lisa Buchwitz and Vanessa Mark on her birthday who are in the lead after the 3rd run, and they are in the lead by 900ths of a second. It's a margin, but it's not a big one. It is going to be a really competitive final 20 shootout for the 2024 World Championships for 2-woman bobsleigh. This is the order. Lisa Buchwitz is ahead of Lara Nolte. That's the battle for gold. Kim Kalicki 3rd, trying to make amends for the time that she's lost. Keisha Love, best of the rest, tied with Bree Walker. Then it's Ilana Myers-Taylor, Aden Nickel and Cynthia Appia in 8th. 9th is Bianca Reeby, ahead of Andrea Grecu. Then Melanie Hasler and Katy Weil, 12th. It is Margot Bock, ahead of Qing Ying, Linda Waszewski and Victoria Chenanska, rounding out to the top 16. 17th is Deborah Anam, with Melissa Lotholtz, Kelly Van Petersham and Riley Tijak rounding out the qualifiers for Heat 4. We lose Sarah Blizzard, Georgetta Popescu, Leah Hasselvanta and Lauren Jolo after the 3 heats. So dramatic stuff. We thought it might be a battle between the German teams. That's exactly what we're seeing, but the story is not done yet. 4 o'clock local time is when Heat 4 will blast into life, and that will determine who is world champion for 2024. It's going to be an intense battle for certain, so don't miss it whatever you do. This battle between the German crews continues, and going into it, it is Lisa Buchwitz on top. For Maren Gulliver and David Anderson for now, we'll see you for Heat 4. It's goodbye.
ist sie leider.
One more run, guys. Let's go.